Hey Soap. Hello, hello. Good morning. Well, no, good afternoon. Sorry, my excuse is that I'm used to greeting American people. Okay, man, I need to find a solution for YouTube. I guess I can do this. Tools, no, docs. Chat. Is this YouTube chat or Twitch chat? This is YouTube chat. Nice. I guess I can put it here, maybe? Maybe here? No. Not like this. Oh, you're saying I cannot tab this? Oh. I can tab this. I guess I can also tab this then. Yeah, I guess that works. So hello also YouTube people. I can see you in chat. Hello. Hello. Nicholas, you're on both sides. I can see you following. Okay, so here's the plan. I am gonna do some Zig work. Then, yeah, then we have to switch to. So we did the work yesterday to switch to 0.12, and now it's 0.13 time. It's the biggest update yet. Oh yeah, it's the fastest, bestest Zig ever yet. No, I think that it's as far as like Zig releases go, it's fairly mundane. It's mostly dictated, I think, because of the LVM 18 upgrade. So, but you know what? No complaints from me. I'll do the work. I think that's gonna be nicer for everybody. So, okay. To do the new expansion. Well, you know, yeah, I think you'll have to wait a little bit more. Zig is early access. You know how early access stuff works on Steam. But keep buying loot boxes. Zig loot boxes. Okay. I'll go put up some tea for myself, and then I'll come back. Man, okay, the fact that my white balance is out of whack is really messing with me. I'm gonna fix this now. So, sorry, you'll have to bear with me as I figure this out as soon as I come back from the tea. Okay, so got my gray. Now time to figure out where this stuff is on my camera, because it also has a new UI. Sorry, also it's annoying to mess with it while streaming, but that's what you have to do, I guess. Oh, you know what? Actually, I might have it already saved. I think it's this one. One of these two. But you know what? I'm gonna save it on... Oh no, these are not presets. Oh no. Auto white balance. Oh, these are the presets. Okay. Yeah, I think I have it saved in one of my presets. You know what? Preset 1. Can we personalize it? How do I convince you to set it? No, I can't. But you know what? I'll take it. This seems reasonable to me. So no need for the gray stuff. Already did it in the past. Tyler switched from YouTube to Twitch when I realized you were following the chat on Twitch. Yeah, I am mostly following it, or at least that's what shows up on Bork for now. But I now also have YouTube chat visible to me. So, for example, somebody is asking on YouTube, is this Kubi? I have no idea what Kubi is, so I would wager it is not Kubi. Or actually, it might. I don't know what it is, so it might inadvertently be Kubi, whatever that's supposed to mean. Denix, thank you for the resub. Thank you. So, here's what we're gonna do. Here's the plan. Okay, step number 1 is going to be that we I've been putting like delaying this chore for way too long. So we're going on the Ziglang website, which is due a huge rework, by the way, because right now the Zig website assumes that it should make you use unstable Zig. But we're now switching this. We're switching this choice to telling people, yeah, use the latest tag, it's fine. And the problem with this is that there's a lot of ways in which the Ziglang website CI is implemented that kind of assumes that that's not the case. Namely, right now, whenever we deploy the website, we retest all the scripts on the website. And that used to make sense because every time we were deploying, pretty much, we were always using a different version of Zig. Like there was a new master. But now that's not important anymore. What is the current Zig version? 1.0? No, almost, but not quite. We're at 0.13. It's gonna be a while before we hit 1.0. So, we're just what's changed is that Zig is not stable yet, but what's changed is that it's far along enough that we can tell people, you know what, it's fine to use a light version right now. And actually, I would even say this. I would say that it's not a decision that I see us walk back anytime soon, but it's also not necessarily a thing that we're never going to change. As an example, I don't know, 3 years from now, there's like a new flurry of changes to the language for some reason. Maybe at that point, it will make sense to tell people again, you know what, if you want to have a good experience, use latest. So, just so you know, I don't think that's going to happen, but just so you know. There's one in number close enough. Yeah. You have no idea how many people were absolutely convinced that after 0.9, when we released Zig version 0.9.0, people were saying, holy shit, we're almost at 1.0. Next release is going to be 1.0. No, dude. After 0.9.0, you get 0.10.0. A lot of people are not used to how semantic versioning works, and they look at this, especially when it's only 2 numbers. They look at it as like a decimal number, and so they think that 0.9 is, you know, just 0.1 short of 1, but that's not how it works. That's not how semantic versioning works at all. So people were really saying, holy shit, I did not expect Zig to be already this far along. And it's like, what? Like, you can do 0 point how many numbers you want. Like, you can delay tagging version 1 as long as you want. Actually, if we really have to be okay, since it's just a few of us, you know, people don't like to say this, but when you release version 1, you can also release version 2 afterwards. Like, the truth is that semantic versioning alone doesn't really say that you will be good in terms of retrocompatibility. Case in point, freaking LLVM is now at version what, 18, and they keep breaking every single release. They don't give a fuck. So anyway, is there any chance Zig will replace Rust? On YouTube, people are asking, will Zig replace the backend using LLVM? Okay, I'll answer both questions. I'll go grab my cup of tea first. So 15 seconds and I'll answer your questions. Okay. Let's see. So, will Zig replace the backend using LLVM? Well, we're working on it. We have already alternative backends that don't use LLVM, and they're all well, most of them, a few of them at least, are very far along. And we're gonna toggle them on, in my opinion, relatively soon for debug builds. So the point is not, again, to completely get rid of LLVM forever, but to have alternatives. For debug, makes total sense, because LLVM, it's slow. It's a huge, clunky system. And if you need optimizations for release builds, great, makes sense. Like, it's worth it. It's worth the wait. But if you're making a debug build, then you don't need LLVM, and it only, or rather, it slows you down and it doesn't give you back nearly as much. So the plan is to get rid of it for those paths, for those situations. And yes, then the idea is also eventually to have something that competes with it, but we are never gonna like completely break away from LLVM, at least not anytime soon. The idea is that what's going to change is that you don't get LLVM with the Zig executable compiler anymore, but you will still be able to fetch it through, say, the Zig build system. And basically, Zig, instead of bundling LLVM, what the Zig compiler will do is output LLVM bitcode files, and then those can be in a Zig build process. Those can then be built with LLVM. Just like you can already use the Zig build system to use any kind of tooling to do any kind of processing, pre-processing, post-processing step of your stuff. My static site generator, Zine, is a slightly funky example of that. The static site generator itself is a complicated Zig build script, and all the tools that translate Markdown to HTML, run HTML templating, and a bunch of other stuff, those are implemented as separate executables that all coordinate through the Zig build system. So yeah. So is there any chance Zig will replace Rust? Sure, for some, not entirely, ever, probably. Because the point is that if you... It's kind of like, will Zig... I feel like it's a question that's very similar to, will Zig ever replace C++? And the answer is, Zig will 100% replace C++ for all those shops, all those people that never wanted to write C++ in the first place. All the people who had to do certain types of jobs where they needed to have low-level control over the system, and that for one reason or another, they had basically to be part of the C++ ecosystem, even though they never liked it. For those people, Zig will 100% replace C++, and it's already doing that. Not maybe at super huge scale, but it is already doing that for a lot of people. That said, the point is that Zig is very different from C++, and it's also very different from Rust. So if you like Rust, if you like C++, if you like that way of programming, then Zig will not be a replacement. Zig is in a sense like an alternative. And so I think like this is the key point. The key point is some people have to use a certain technology because it's kind of needed in their field. Case in point, you want to make games, certain types of games, let's say AAA games. Like you can get away with higher level programming languages. Like you can write a simple game in Python. But if you're making like serious, AAA games, you're kind of stuck with C++. There's kind of no escape from it. So some people are happy to stay there, and that's what they want anyway. So for them, Zig is gonna be inconsequential. But there's also people who like never really felt comfortable there, and that's who will benefit from Zig. I believe all Rust programmers secretly hate Rust. I don't think so. The amount of like hype and energy and intense love for the language when it comes to Rust, some people might even call it, well, what's the term? Zealotry. So, like if you get to a point where it deserves a negative connotation, that the language has is huge compared to other languages. So I'm sure that there's a lot of people in the mix who try really hard to like Rust, even though actually I've seen that also with Zig. I've read some people saying, "Oh, I tried really hard to like Zig," and I read this and I think, like, why the fuck would you even do that? No, just evaluate the tool if you like it or not. It's like you shouldn't have to like Zig if you don't. You should keep an open mind, because maybe there's something that people see in the tool that you don't grasp immediately. You lack the necessary experience to understand what is the point of certain things, or like it's maybe not necessarily experience, but let's say you have to experience it yourself. That's fine. But like, you shouldn't try hard to like the language. It's dumb. Some people do that with Rust for sure, and maybe they get also trapped into the logical puzzles. I think software developers love logic puzzles a little bit too much, and man, isn't Rust one great logic puzzle oftentimes, and so they get lost into it, and then after a while they have this. After a while that they try this stuff, like the game stops being as entertaining as it was in the beginning, and they start realizing that actually took a toll on their actual productivity, and like it kind of took them further away from the problem that they were solving. For some others, that is absolutely not the experience, and Rust is just like a very good tool that really fits well their hand, and they're just productive with it, so that's also fine. But I wouldn't say it's the majority, or like even anything close to all. Would you be interested in joining this company that provides B2B software as a service financing to scaling local restaurant dating business solutions? Oh god. I think the worst part is that you might have even copy pasted that from somewhere. I think it might have been a real thing. Will Zig replace C? I would say the answer is very similar to the C++ one. Zig is much more similar to C than it is to C++. So I guess the nature of the answer changes a little bit because of that. But at the same time, C is very entrenched, and so when you say will Zig replace C, there's kind of like the implication that maybe certain like C projects will be rewritten in Zig, like big ones. And I don't expect that. And in fact, Zig makes it very, very nice to not nuke your C code base and actually to integrate with it. Much easier than Rust does, or actually any other language out there. So in a sense, Zig is not out there to destroy C, given all the interoperability that you can get. And also at the same time, I think it's unrealistic to expect certain things to ever be, or like not ever, but like to be rewritten anytime soon. Just not worth it. So I would say Zig will enhance C. Actually, Zig today is already making C and C++ better languages because, frankly speaking, their toolchains suck. And Zig is a better C and C++ toolchain than actual C and C++ toolchains. I was mentioning this yesterday. I gave a talk at PyCon. Hopefully, I get the opportunity to talk about this stuff also elsewhere in the future. But the idea is that Zig actually fixes C and C++ build problems. You package stuff with Zig. Your project stays C. Your project stays pure C, stays pure C++, but you package it with Zig. You create, instead of having a CMake build file, you toss that thing in the trash, and instead you put a build.zig in your project, and now you can just do Zig build and it works on any machine, trivially. Well, you have to do the work to write the build script. So it's not like automatic or free. You have to put in the effort. But then maintaining it is so much simpler. And it basically turns the problem of cross compilation. It makes it tractable. And at that point, your experience writing C and C++ will be better, or consuming it. I mentioned this yesterday because I gave a talk at PyCon talking about what things could change for Python packaging if people were to start using Zig to build their wheels, or even not build their wheels. Because in Python, you have this thing where you have a Python package that depends on C and C++ code. And what people do is they pre-build a bunch of wheels that contain pre-built binaries for a bunch of different platforms, which has a bunch of issues with it. One of which is that their package index is like exploding with pre-built binaries, because you have to do, you know, all the product of all the architectures, all the OSs, all the versions of the interpreters, all the APIs, blah, blah, blah. And the idea is, instead you do pip install ziglang, which you can do, like pip install ziglang is real. Python package index, ziglang, boom, you get Zig. And the idea is that you can, it's not just that, okay, now you have Zig that you can access in your system. What's interesting about this is that you can use this in your build, in your install step of your Python packages. Like a Python package can define install dependencies that are only needed during install time. And so you can depend on Zig and have it compile your C++, C++ code on the host machine. So you don't need to even build Python wheels anymore, unless you have other reasons to. Like, for example, TensorFlow probably should still be distributed as a pre-built binary because you don't want to waste, I don't know, 2 hours to 45 minutes, I don't know, a long time to build TensorFlow. But not everything is TensorFlow. So Palanix on YouTube says the x86 backend will be used for debug modes in the future, but what about the build system? Currently it still uses LLVM regardless of flags. Oh, the build system is the least of anybody's concern, because the build system itself will be able to use the Zig backend. Whenever you compile the build script, the build script gets compiled and ultimately gets, it's not exactly the script that becomes an executable, but the build script that you wrote plus the build runner does become an executable. And that thing is always built, as far as I'm aware, it's always built in debug mode. So you cannot have UB in your build script, for example. You always get a panic. Or rather, you cannot have UB unless you really hard work for it. You're not going to get easily accidental UB because it's always debug build. So the build script itself, nothing is going to change. Actually, it's going to improve, because right now, every time the build script has to be rebuilt, you always have this double LLVM step. You have the first LLVM, LLVM emit, blah, blah, blah. You have the first one that builds your build script, and then you have the second one that actually runs as part of it. Like, it's the build script running. Once we switch to the x86, or in my case, the ARM backend, that's going to go away. That's going to be instant, because you're going to use the native backend, native Zig backend, which is going to be much faster. One of my biggest hurdles issues with Zig is the lack of interfaces. What is the biggest win of not including it in language? Kalabalik, I don't know. Obviously, I cannot know precisely your perspective on this, so I'm going to approximate one. And then you decide how closely matches your actual preferences or not, like your actual situation or not. This is a way of saying beware. I'm gonna pick a characterization of your headspace, which might not be correct. Well, it will not be correct to some degree, but it might be not correct a lot, potentially. So, in my experience, based on my past experiences, people who use interfaces a lot tend to come from higher level programming languages. Interfaces are a good abstraction tool. Like in software engineering, interfaces are good. It's nice to talk about things in terms of interfaces, but interfaces do have a mechanical cost. Interfaces are not fucking free. And if you have a language that gives you interfaces out of the box, you will implicitly buy into the trade-offs that the language made. Because, spoilers, interfaces can be implemented in multiple ways. And depending on how you implement your interface, you will get different performance characteristics. And not only performance, but you will get different behavior from your program. Now, in a high-level programming language, it doesn't matter. You don't have the level of control anyway, and so you just want to, be able to leverage the abstraction tool. Great. But in a low-level programming language like Zig, it's not that easy. Maybe it's not always going to be super relevant, but you're meant to be potentially interested also in what's going on behind interfaces. So, long story short, interfaces, especially if you're used to object-oriented programming, sorry, not objective, object-oriented programming, you will be tempted to make interfaces out of things that do not fucking need interfaces. When I started using Zig seriously from years of Go, C#, Python, and Java, even some Ruby from the past, I kind of had to go through detox. I had at some point to free my mind from all the stupid fucking OOP-isms and start rewiring my brain to understand when an interface is actually needed and when it is not. So, long story short, it's this change of perspective that you kind of want to have when using Zig. So this is not to say that interfaces are a bad abstraction. They're not. But it is a cost. And when you care about performance, you need to care also about the tiny details. That said, will Zig never have interfaces in the language? That is not guaranteed. It might very well be that at some point, Zig will gain interfaces. Today, it doesn't have that. So it is not a promise that it's going to have them. But given the discussions that I've seen in the core team with Andrew, etc., interfaces are not entirely off the table. But that doesn't change the fact that you need to have this perspective change. You cannot think about interfaces in the same terms that you think about in Zig, with the same way of mindset that you think about interfaces in, for example, Go, right? Go has a lot of talks about the correct usage of interfaces. What it is considered correct in Go, it is not going to be the same in Zig. It's not going to be a 101 because the one implicit thing behind Go, and especially even Go, it's not even more higher level languages, but languages that care about performance even less than Go, or in a different way, let's say. Those languages will completely, their entire discourse around interfaces works off of the assumption that you're not really going to care about whether it's a vtable, whether it's a tagged union, the way the interface is implemented, whether it's what we call in Zig a field parent pointer. There are different ways in which you can implement interfaces, and those do make a difference in terms of how your program behaves in the end. I found it annoying when I want to call a function that takes on any type, but I don't know what shape that type has to be without reading through the implementation. Yeah, that is a problem. Although it does relate to interfaces. By the way, another choice that I made in interpreting this question, I assumed that by interfaces, we meant runtime interfaces that provide runtime polymorphism. There are also different ways of, like, you could interpret also the term interface as something that kind of works as maybe what would other people call maybe a trait, for example, or what is it? Swift calls them, I think, protocols, which is more related to what any type does. Yeah. I don't know. You know what? It might even be that the interface, which maybe won't even be called interface, but the type of interface that we'll get in Zig might not even be something that provides you with polymorphic runtime polymorphism. Instead, it will be just something that allows you to specify the shape of something to be more precise than any type. That said, for all these things, there are trade-offs. Like, while I totally agree that any type is underspecified in some ways, the moment you give people the ability to become surgical with how they describe how a type should work, I've seen in other ecosystems people really get too far with that and start pontificating a little bit too much. Let me see, what's the definition of pontificating in English, just to make sure I'm not using the term. To pontificate, express one's opinions in a pompous and dogmatic way. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, the idea is that somebody designs a type, right, where to make sure that people never misuse it, they constrict everything so much, they make it so nuanced that they introduce like all kinds of other secondary problems. Which is a form of like over abstracting things, which you do see in other languages. For example, I am actually a little bit worried that Go, about the fact that Go gained generics, because while it's, I guess, good in some ways, in some other ways, all the, factory fucking insanity that was in Java and C# could never move to Go. Go basically was protected by some of that insanity. But now all these protections are going away, and things that in the past, for example, I believe that for the longest time, the majority of people doing Go were agreed that, for example, dependency injection, like containers not as in Docker, but like as in dependency injection container thing, sucks. And then instead you should instantiate and wire in your dependencies manually, explicitly in a file. It's like, yeah, you'll have to press 2 fucking buttons more, but at least there's no like runtime things going wrong last minute. While instead in C#, especially, at least that's where I experienced it, people go bonkers with this stuff. And I remember that that a ton of class instantiation issues that would normally have been a compile error were turned into runtime errors because of all the freaking dependency injection, the dynamic dependency injection going on. Because dependency injection by itself is not bad. It's like inverting the dependency of something, like providing the dependency to something instead of having that thing grab it by itself. It's fine. The problem is that when this thing, instead of being hard-coded in the code, becomes something runtimey, automagic, that keeps blowing up. But more recently, I spoke with people doing Go, and they're all hot for fucking dependency injection. And I'm like, no, man. I actually, a few years ago, but I've actually joined like a company that was doing C#, and I was hired as the one Go developer. And man, I was delighted, because I was free from all the stupid insanity in C++, in C#, sorry. So that protection is going away. So long story short, I do agree that the situation with any type is not optimal. But at the same time, I feel like the solving the problem fully in the traditional, in the straightforward way, which is giving people the ability to define more precise shapes of things, can also have downsides. What the correct solution is, I don't know. I would also say that in Zig, most of the time, the problems that relate to any type, in my opinion, have to do with readers and writers. And the situation with readers and writers in Zig, in my opinion, is not optimal, and it's not fully designed yet. I mean, the standard library in Zig, it is known, it is not yet the focus of development, so it's not yet fully set in stone. The standard library is kind of evolving organically in a sense, kind of based on what people need. Firstly, for the compiler itself. Secondly, for, main use cases. And in fact, sometimes certain decisions get walked back drastically. And for example, when it comes to readers and writers, we used to have only fully generic readers and writers. Well, they have runtime polymorphism within them to some degree, but they also have a type where the error set that they can return needed to be generic in a sense, so known at compile time. And that caused a bunch of any type to be everywhere you needed a reader or a writer, you had to use any type. Now the any reader, any writer error type erased interface has been added. So if you accept any reader, you can use an any reader. You don't need any type anymore. To be clear, any reader, despite the name, is not a keyword. Any reader is just the name of a non-generic interface. Like allocator, for example, is a non-generic interface. You accept the allocator struct that acts as the interface to all the concrete implementations of allocator. Reader was different. Reader had different interfaces based on the underlying implementation, and because of the error set mainly. But any reader instead is kind of like allocator. So you have one any reader struct, and then different readers can produce that same one. But that has the downside of type erasing your error set. The error set that you can get from an any reader is type erased. That means that it becomes any error. That means then that if you want to switch on it, for example, the type system won't be able to assist you anymore precisely. And so it will tell you, well, if you want to really switch on this error set, you need to be prepared to accept any potential error. And so it will tell you also that you will need to some way, maybe not maybe not directly with a switch branch, maybe with the else branch, but you will need to also account for, potentially errors that are never going to come out of that interface. In my opinion, or rather, I would be interested in having eventually a discussion about the idea instead of restricting the error set of these readers. So the idea is you have a reader interface, then the reader interface only returns, reader error or read error, or it returns like a limited set of errors, and so you lose precision, but you don't have full-blown type erasure of the error set in any case. Oh, I didn't announce my stream on Discord. You're right, I didn't announce my stream anywhere. Oh no, I'm so bad. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't, but the stupid YouTube bot keeps spamming every time I make a new stream. I need to fix this. This bot is stupid. Okay, you know what? Let's delete this message. Let's go to going live. Live today as well. And same here. Has anybody else streamed since me last time? Reply. Live today as well. I should probably do social media, but I'm lazy. Let's see. So thanks for the answer. I was wondering what backend it would be, because currently it's not possible to use the x86 backend for build, and I thought there was a reason for that. I think the problem right now is that the x86 backend is not complete enough. Once it becomes complete enough, it will be integrated also with the build system. I can guarantee you. I would say one of the most visible wins from switching away from LLVM for debug builds is going to be having the build scripts build faster. It's easily one of the nicest wins out of the box. So don't worry, nobody's going to forget that. Isn't the allocator type some kind of interface? It is. It is. It's an interface that nowadays is based on vtables. It has a vtable in it. It used to work differently. That's funny. Allocators used to have runtime polymorphism, but the interface used to be implemented in a different way. It used to use field parent pointer, which is it's a funny technique that allows basically a interface struct to recover a pointer to compute a pointer to the concrete implementation. The problem is that LLVM was really bad at optimizing those things. So LLVM was not able to resolve all the virtual calls, like inline the avoid the pointer dereference, because of how LLVM works. Like it's on a type of optimization that in theory LLVM could have pulled off, but because it's a technique that it's not really used by C++, because LLVM, despite everything, it's mostly designed to fulfill. It's like the main model, the main thing that it tries to optimize is for C++, and because C++ mainly works with vtables, LLVM did not have the necessary machinery to optimize that way of implementing interfaces, which kind of sucked because they were cool in some ways. Basically, the entire interface, like the entire allocator interface, was a pointer. Right now, instead, it's bigger than that. It's a struct, I think, that has at least 2-3 pointers in it. It's bigger, and now we move around more bytes. It feels like the x86-64 backend is stalled completely. Well, first of all, hi Neurosite. Sorry, I didn't greet you earlier. I don't know about what's going on there. I am not up to speed with the latest and greatest. I know that there has been a bunch of work with other stuff. I would say that I think that the main force behind it is Jacob Lee, and I know that Jacob Lee has been still super active, just I guess working on other things, which might even be related, just not, exactly the x86-64 backend. I also know that MATLAB has been working on a bunch of changes to, SEMA and stuff. So it might be that they are basically just doing a bunch of quote-unquote refactoring before making more progress on it. But that said, I have to admit I am not entirely precisely up to speed with what's happening. Okay, so let's do some work here. So here's actually no, you know what? Okay, step 1, I guess we fetch Zig 13. So Zig up 0.13.0. The stage 2 compile felt like it stalled too, but then eventually released with great success, so I'll be patient. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like, when you're getting close to the end of something, right? And so now you're starting polishing. And so like the progress feels like it's stalling out because you're doing all the remaining 20% that takes 80% of the time, that kind of stuff. I'm guessing. In the end, I think that the x86-64 backend is very far along, right? I think it was 90+% of the behavior tests passing. Anyway, yeah. We just have to be patient. Honestly, who has to be real patient more than anybody else? Who has to be like the picture of virtue in terms of patience? Me. You know why? Because I'll have to wait for ARM64. I think that x86-64 Linux is going to be the first target that gets fully completed or to have its own custom backend work. But who thinks of the poor ARM64 macOS target? Actually, you know what? No, I care more about the x64 Linux target. So I too will have to be patient. Or alternatively, both of us could just do the work to implement what we care about. Just easier though to wait. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nicholas. Have a nice day. Okay, I think it's time to start doing something, huh? Okay, give me 1 sec. Okay, so we got 013. Now, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna git pull. Oh, I mean release notes, right? So git switch. Is it main or master? I think it's master here. I see it written up there. Hey, Beefriddle! Thank you. Holy shit, 46 months. That's a long time. Yeah, music release. Although, you know what? It's not a super mind-blowing release. It's hey, Iridescence. Hello. It's mainly updating to LVM 18. Yeah, 18. Okay, so git pull. Can we git pull? Oh, come on, auto stash. Okay. What we got here? Yeah, we got basically our changes here. So here's what's going on. Update GitHub sponsors. It's a script that updates the GitHub sponsors on the Zig front page, automatically fetching the stuff from the delicious and delightful and like easily understandable, beautifully crafted, extensively documented, and really a joy to work with GraphQL API of GitHub. But it works. The thing is, actually, these thresholds are usually, I think it's like 100, 400, because these are for the front page. While here, I have edited these 2 lines to generate a one-off list of people who instead should go on the release notes. We have different tiers for getting your name on the release notes versus for getting your name on the front page of ziglang.org. So, what I want to do basically is change this script so that instead of producing only one list, it produces both lists, not only one. So that the script can also be used without having to edit it manually to cut releases. So that's what we want to do here. Have these work in both ways, so complicate the thing a little bit so that it can actually do both work jobs at once. And secondly, and then we'll need to also integrate it a little bit differently with the pipeline, because I believe right now, like, it doesn't accept any argument, and yeah, it doesn't accept any argument. It takes the GitHub token from an environment variable, because that's how the integration with the GitHub CI works. But now we have to decide how to make it work. What I'm thinking is to make it produce maybe 2 different files. Like, we run it in a way that produces different files. You know what? Actually, let me start with this. Update GitHub sponsors.yaml. How does that work? That runs the script and pipes into assets GitHub sponsors. Okay, so here's what we can do. We can do this, right? We can say one argument is the front page. We change this to this URL, and then a second argument release notes HTML. So, like, we imagine that it now takes 2 arguments, which are paths where to put the stuff. This is how we imagine using it now. So now what we want to do is with link name only. Now we need to make these two things. We need 4 array lists, I guess. Okay, so home and notes. And now we have to do this logic here. Huh. Okay, so this is currently the one for notes. So if it's lower than 50, we do nothing. If it's between 50 and 100, then we do this. I guess it's time maybe to switch amount. It's a U size, so we can totally switch this using ranges. I think that's gonna make it more clear. So 0.50. Continue. 50.100. It's gonna be this one. 100 ... Actually, the triple dot means inclusive, right? So we want to from 101 basically. To what? What's the upper limit? Oh, maybe that's why I had if branches. You know what? Let's keep the if branches at this point. Yeah, it's I guess I could have else. That's what I had here, right? You could have else. Ah, that's nice. Okay. Okay, now let's make this work for both. So the original thresholds were... The original thresholds were 200 and 400. So that means that between 200 and 400, you had home name only. And then above 400, notes with link, and then home with link. But here you also want notes, right? Actually, you want notes with link. Okay, let me double check that the logic makes sense. Between 50 and 100, you only unlock notes with a name. Between 200, oh, actually that leaves out 100 to 200, does it not? 101 to 199, I guess. So in this range, you gain nodes with link. Between 200 and 400, home name only. Above 400, home with link. Yeah. Okay, that seems okay. Except this 50-50. So it's like I think this should be not inclusive because it was lower than. So yeah, this should be. Can I do non-inclusive? I cannot do non-inclusive. So this is 49. This is 99. This is 100. 99, 200 to 2. Yes. I'm starting to think that maybe the if stuff was actually clear. Oh well. Okay, so that puts stuff where we need to. Buffer writer to standard output. Oh no, friend. This is now more complicated. So we need to open our two files now. So var, actually, I think it can be const. Current working directory dot open. Actually, creates, opens, or overwrites a file with write access. Yeah, that's what we want. We want to overwrite. So we have to create a file. The subpath is going to be something that we have to decide. And then we have to look at the options. So let's take a look at the options. Create flags. What do we want? If the file already exists and it's a regular file and the access mode allows writing, it will be truncated to length 0. So yeah, we want truncating, which we do get by default. We don't need read access. Agreed. We don't need exclusivity. No need for anything else. Okay, so that the defaults seem pretty good for us. And we want to do the same for nodes. So we have to create these two files. And then maybe we want to put buffering on them. I guess so. Probably not a bad idea. You know what? Let's do this. Home file, nodes file. Yeah. Okay, so we have buffer stuff for both of these bad boys. And now we kind of want to do this loop twice. Can I do this for what's the name of the two arrays? Home with link. How did I do this? So this is with link and this is name only. Okay, so we do the both with links. Home. Doing it a for loop. It's kind of annoying though. It's a ton of annoying metaprogramming. You know what? I think I'm gonna copy paste stuff. So this becomes home with link. Home with link uses home with link items and writes to home. Then we have notes with link. And you know what? Let's copy also this up here. So let's do first home and then we do the other one. Are you in a good headspace to be distracted by meaningless drama? Oh no, what's going on? What's happening? That doesn't sound like a yes. Yeah, okay, take it like as a yes. Yeah, what's happening? What's the meaningless drama? Blah, 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 blah. So we print this, then we do names. So that's fine. After we're done writing, we want to flush our buffered writer. So let's do try home dot actually no, buffer home. Flash. Okay, so this does the home page. And you know what? I think we can literally copy paste everything and just replace. Just easier that way. I think that's kind of it, right? That buffered out flash not needed anymore. Files get closed. We're pretty much happy with this. We're only missing the paths. Okay, let's put those. Should we put them at the beginning, or should we actually get them here? You know what? Let's get them here at this point. Although we should probably validate that we actually gave the arguments before we start making network requests. So we might want to move this up above. You know what? I'll move these. No, whatever. I'm just gonna grab the things up above. I'm gonna leave that there. So before we do any of the HTTP stuff, const home path is is it std.process? What do we get? Holds the command line arguments. Use args with allocator for cross-platform code. We don't care about cross-platform anything in this case. So, and actually this is an array slice, right? No, it's an iterator. Oh, interesting. Okay, so oh, it has skip. So it the skip. Home path is it.next or else panic. Missing arguments. Okay, with this we should have everything. Will this work out of the box? First try? We can actually try. So I do have a key. So give me a sec. Sorry. I'm not gonna leak my credentials, but I do have value of type bool ignored. Oh, so you have to discard also if you call skip. Interesting. Okay, almost there. Almost there, maybe. I think you forgot dash dash separator for the zig run command. You might be right. Thank you. I'm actually trying this locally, so I should be able to test this also on the CLI. Give me a sec. Sorry, I don't want to leak my key. Oh, you know what? I could probably... Guess I could do this. Can I do this? Okay, hopefully I don't leak anything. Still have a couple of bugs. So when I open files, I probably need to try. Panic missing arguments. So this is correct. Okay, perfect. Yep. That works. Success. So yes, I want to look in the YAML file. I want to put a -- here. Now I changed the name of these things, so now I need to change the code that includes them. Maybe it's this one. No. It's a shortcode. Oh, nice. So we can do this. We were looking at the YAML file. We call it homepage. Okay. Okay, and the other file isn't actually used for the website itself. It's just there ready. Since we're already polling this thing, it's just there ready for when we need to cut a release. So this is it. Okay, so thank you to Step. You were 100% on point. Let's see what's going on there. The prime gen link. Uh-oh. Is this the one about the LSP? Stupid Twitter. I can log in, I guess. Give me a sec. Man, I don't even remember. Do I have a Google account? Oh, good thing my browser remembers. Okay, what's the discussion? Oh, I didn't follow all the follow-ups. Zig is a very interesting language, but it's definitely going to suffer with adoption with a current LSP. Sure, whatever. The problem is, the problem with this statement is that it's based on, well, not knowing what the situation is. The LSP, like you read this. Actually, if you just take it at face value, it's like, is not having a flawless LSP going to have an impact on adoption? Sure. That is, I would say that is factually 100% correct. That is a statement that is impossible to deny based on my experience. Or rather, I guess you could argue it differently, but based on my experience, having a flawless LSP does actually help. That said, I guess the implication is, one implication that people might make is, or rather, what Jared then voices exactly is they need to make the LSP better, which tends to mean they need to prioritize the LSP. And that's not the case. No, the LSP does not need to be prioritized. There are 100% of the priorities that should go first then the LSP. And so people who are in the know already know. Again, obviously this is up to debate. You could have a discussion. People might have different opinions. I do think that people who are very much used to dealing with an audience, like Jared is also, for example, tend to be very sensitive to the public perception of things in a way that is sometimes useful, sometimes not so much. So in the case of Zig, the LSP situation is complicated, and ZLS is already a fucking miracle. So, no, take a tricks, no! No! So ZLS is a fucking miracle, and these people have no idea. That said, how can I say? It's like, obviously, I guess my point is, when you're looking at it from the inside and you're in the know, you know that actually ZLS only deserves praise. It doesn't really deserve any criticism. Is ZLS perfect? No. But given what ZLS can reasonably do, it's pretty much up there, in my opinion. So, in a sense, the Primogen's statement, if you just cut and dry analyze what is written in the words, it's fine. Yeah, it's fair. But the implications around that way of reasoning about things, voiced more explicitly by Jared, is misleading. Is misleading because, or rather, it's, in my opinion, not the greatest way of looking at things, because it's completely unaware of what's going on behind the scenes. What is the situation? The problem is that Zig is a complicated language to build an LSP for, dramatically so compared to other languages, even freaking complicated ones. So the current situation is amazing, actually. And the LSP will come in due time. And at the same time, the point is that the LSP is nice to have, but man, it already gives you a lot. And I think that some people might also be used to having a development style where they leverage the LSP to the point where it kinda, maybe they're faced with something new in Zig, something complicated, that they don't exactly know how to solve in Zig, and so they feel like the DLSP should help them more, even though DLSP cannot reasonably really help you there when you're doing something Zig style. So in any case, long story short, all right, man, I don't know. It's just like, Jared should know better, in my opinion, because this is like, I don't know, it's like when Jared complains that the Zig autodoc, like the Zig auto-generated docs for a Zig project needs to be indexable by Google. No, fuck that. Fuck Google, fuck SEO, fuck all that stuff. In any case, it never works well. People need to learn how to go find documentation for the stuff that they use, and like catering to the most primal needs of serial Googlers, as in people who can only find search for solutions to problems through Google. It's not the way forward. Especially not in 2024, in my opinion. So some of it's like, yeah, it's superficial. That said, I wouldn't take it too personally. Honestly, I think that the people who know the Zig ecosystem know how much of a good job ZLS is doing. So I think there's no point in getting angry with outsiders if they don't fully appreciate the situation. Like, you cannot expect the Primogen to automagically know, the full nuance of the problem unless somebody tells him first. And he's a busy guy, and so he's gonna get there, I guess, at some point. And I'm sure that once he's presented with the situation, he's gonna understand that, you know, maybe he will have his own opinions, but at the same time, I think that anybody who knows the full situation knows that the time for LSPs will come, but it is not today. And so that is going to hurt adoption. In the meantime, sure. But you know what also is hurting adoption? Not having a super rock solid web development story. If Zig had a top-notch, perfect, flawless HTTP server in the standard library, and HTTP clients, and what else? HTTP, WebSockets, gRPC, all in the standard library, that would help Zig's adoption. Hands down. I don't think that anybody could disagree that it would help with Zig adoption. The point is, should Zig prioritize that to get a little bit more adoption? In my opinion, no. It's really not all that interesting to make websites with Zig. There are so many more interesting things that you can do with Zig than websites. Eventually, Zig will become great at websites as well, like backends. That's mainly what I'm thinking about. But it shouldn't be prioritized, really. That incremental compilation, for example, is significant. Yeah, Techatrix is already saying this. Like, incremental compilation is a significantly higher priority than the LSP. So, yeah. But in any case, yeah. He doesn't have build on save errors coming into NeoVim. That actually helps a lot. Yeah, he should probably try to get that up and running. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that stuff, the problem is that it's not immediately obvious how to set it up, right? It's unfortunate because it's the kind of thing that actually Microsoft tends to do well. As in, everything sucks in the Microsoft world. But one upside of having stuff like solutions, like the idea that every time you open a project, you don't just open a file in a folder, but you open the project. And the project comes with a folder structure and like a config file that tells you, for example, how to build it. Tells the editor, the tooling, how to build it. That's kind of this, right? That's kind of what is necessary for you to set up to have build and save errors. And actually, Digo, by the way, you do make a great point. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's also a even more sophisticated technique there, where let me go to Ziggy. Where you can do, let me see if I have it. Yeah, this is Ziggy check. Where basically I do this. Where's my actually? Where do I declare this sub command though? Yeah, here, pstep check. Okay, yeah, that's what we were. I think we're all talking about the same thing, right? The point is, like, you can name the step check, unless you're referring to something else. If you're referring to a step name check, that's something that like you have to write yourself. Also, you might notice something. This is my Ziggy project, but the check description is check if Tiger Beetle compiles, so you can get an idea of where that code was stolen from. But yeah, the point is, at its core is, yeah, no emit bin. No emit bin is the, yeah, it's core. Okay, so we're all talking about the same thing. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that's great, but it's an asterisk, right? You don't get it out of the box, and you have to know what's up to enjoy that. That said, the good news is this. This is not a long-lived trick. This trick is going to become, I believe, useless in a bit, because once you have custom backends, you don't need no emit bin anymore. I might be wrong. Maybe there's still something that you get out of not having no emit bin. But right now, all that no emit bin does is cut LLVM out of the process. That's pretty much all it does. And I think that with the custom backends, it's not gonna be all that important. So at that point, all you will need is a step, the default build step, for example. I think my only step should be a default command, and ZLS should do it by default. Well, the problem is that you cannot do it exactly by default because because the thing is, you still have to go through creating an executable, right? You still need to do something like this. Like some manual fiddling is still necessary, but regardless, the point is, custom backends, I think, means not even needing to do that anymore. And like any whatever step you already have should be able to do the job. Okay, so the question is, how's our website faring? Did we bork it? Did we bork like the CI? Oh, you know what? It might even be that the CI never actually ran, because this thing is on a trigger, it's not on push. Deployment failed. Oh, I know why. Because the file doesn't exist. So this is actually fair. Okay, so this is fair. Can we actually run manually this one? Oh, man, I'm a fucking genius. I gave it the run on demand YAML magic juice. Wait, what? Why is it running twice? I pressed the button once, dude. Why are you like this? Why are you like this, man? Also, you know what? I haven't double-checked the YAML file. Let me double-check the YAML file. Does it do the right thing? Like, I should double-check this. Oh shit! No, it adds the wrong file. God damn it! We need to fix the YAML file. I guess we can fail these jobs. Oh well, they already successfully did nothing. We need to fix the YAML file. I should have double checked what it was doing here. I didn't expect a 0.13 release this soon. Yeah, it's mostly because LLVM. It's mostly to jump on LLVM 18. Okay, so we push this. Now we can run this workflow. Please, only once, GitHub. I swear to God, I pressed the fucking button once. Okay. And yeah, we get everything, and I didn't typo it, seems. So, seems that we are working. Pushing. Let's check the code. Assets. I was not expecting to see this. Refresh. Where is this thing pooping those files? Dude, why are you like this? What did I do wrong? I mean, okay, you know what? I guess we want to see the latest commits, right? Oh, you know what's happening? I know what's happening. What's happening is that this guy did not commit anything. That's what's happening. I think that this did not push anything. So this is what the script is doing. It should be centered at the root of the repository. It invokes a script like this. And it should create these two files. Maybe I typoed those. Assets, GitHub, sponsors, homepage.html, assets, GitHub sponsors, release notes.html. Oh, I think it's this, right? It's the git diff. Since these files were never added. Okay, I think that's how it works. Actually, git rm assets GitHub sponsor HTML. Okay. Okay, I think the problem is that the git diff command was not picking up those files because they were untracked originally. So the way that command was worded, I think it was implicitly only working off of files that already are part of this thing. And so if they are not, it's not working. So let's go to actions now. And let's run this. Although, you know what? Now that I think about it, this is also going to not do anything because the list is already correct as is. Okay, so I think that I'm satisfied with where we got. I think it's fine now. I haven't really been able to test it fully, but I feel like I've troubleshooted it enough to, yeah, know what's going on. Let's watch the normal deployment succeed, ideally. Man, we're gonna need to change so many things. Like all this testing is not necessary anymore, for example. Yeah, next thing is going to be updating Zine also to 0.13. So how's it going? Okay, we're uploading. So it seems that everything succeeded. Good job. Good job, me. Okay, let's take a look at Zine. I guess we now want to merge this one, right? Let's take a look at what's in there. So this is fine. This is all fine. This is all fine. This is not fine. This is not fine. This is a fork of my CMark thing. I want to update that one directly first. This one we also know that also got updated, so that's good as well. This is fine. We need to update Ziggy. This is fine. This is fine. So this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is fine. Front matter also has a Ziggy dependency that we need to fix. Okay, I think we want to merge this. Use the command line to resolve conflicts before merging. So let's see. Step 1, from your project repository, check out a new branch and test these changes. Step 2, merge the changes and update on GitHub. Wait, can I not do the resolve conflicts stuff in here? Are too complex to resolve in a web editor. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Jesus. Not possible to fast forward, aborting. Oh. Yeah, just stash. Still cannot fast forward. Can you dash dash merge or? Oh man, I don't remember. God damn it, I hate this stuff. Yeah, I guess we can do this. Is it master or main? Yeah, it's actually main. So did this succeed? It says already up to date. This is not merge. This did not merge anything. There is no tracking information because it's this. I don't understand why it says not possible to fast forward aborting. Why would it not be possible to fast forward, man? It's like a new branch. Let's try this. Git branch. I have to say this thing sucks. Can I delete a branch? How do you delete a branch? I'm guessing it's the dash D. I don't get it. Why would it be not possible to fast forward? I'm guessing the problem is because of the merge. I guess, can I do pull and merge? Git pull merge. What do you do? Well, oh, I guess it's git merge. I hate Git. You know what? I'll actually search the error. Because the problem is not possible to fast forward. And then nice. I want to do the same operation, just no fast forwarding. Just do the merge. It's dash dash base. Right. Forgot. When I was saying dash dash, when I was doing dash dash merge, that's kind of what I was trying to achieve. Yeah. Show me the conflicts. Build a Zine. Yeah, there we go. So we want to keep our stuff, I guess. It's gonna need to be changed anyway. Actually, no. I think we want theirs. So this stuff is fine like this. Okay. This one did not conflict, but we need to fix. And the next is front matter, right? That has us on. Oh, that needs fixing, but it doesn't need. So it's scripty that conflicted. No. Okay, we need to figure out what's the other one that conflicted. Super. Okay. Okay. Next thing is Ziggy. Let's see the Ziggy repository. We have a PR. Yep. Okay. So these got updated. And now we can go here. In theory, I can just copy the commit line. I think the hash should be the same. Okay, so that's my conflict resolution. So let's see. Next commands to do 2 remaining commands. Oh, god damn it. Okay, let's see. You're currently rebasing branch, blah, blah, blah. Fix conflicts, then run git rebase continue. Okay. I have a .zig cache folder now. Huh. I do need to add stuff first, do I not? Yeah, I think fix conflicts means adding those changes. Also, you know what? So this becomes .zig cache, I guess. Oh, but I also have zig cache. Oh god. Well, you know what? I guess we ignore everything. Okay, I don't think I need to commit anything. I guess I do git rebase continue. Yeah. Could not apply. Oh god. Okay, the zone file and daytime. What we got here? I want... Oh, Jesus. Do I need to update this, actually? I do. Can I merge this? Oh god, there's conflicts. Okay. Wait, what exactly is the conflict, man? Oh, it's the B path stuff. Also, it says master here and master here. That's not really helpful, but I'm guessing it's... I'm guessing it's the B path stuff that we want to keep. Wait, I did not merge the PR in the end. Okay. Commits. Copy. I guess, is this what we want? No, I might have changed also the hash inadvertently. I'm gonna leave the hash empty. So this is one, and the other one was date time. No man, daytime needs daytime. I don't care. Daytime needs to go. Okay. Okay. So we did it, I guess. I guess I could git push this now. Although the upstream is not origin. The upstream is not upstream, so no, never mind. I mean, GitHub really not simplifying things that it should simplify. So it's not CMark GFM, but it's dude, please. Back to Zine, back to PRs. I guess I could add this as a remote, which I didn't. I guess I could do this. Conflict. Automatic merge failed. Oh yeah, right. Because now... Don't tell me, because now I have to redo all the thing, right? Because it doesn't remember how I solved my conflicts. That son of a bitch. Oh no, okay, it's just conflicting with it. It's fine. Like this. Okay, let's do the hash. And there's a bunch of stuff that isn't updated. Why? It's a dependency. Uh-oh, did I update a dependency wrong? I guess we need to figure out which dependency is this. That's meme. I did not update meme. Oh, you know what? I probably picked the wrong one. Yeah, that's what happened. I probably picked the wrong version. Okay, but now the hash is not going to be correct. I should just use dig fetch. I don't know why I'm so dumb. Okay, now there's another dependency with issues. Which is it, my man? Three seat there. We got update 3-seater, I guess. But we don't depend on 3-seater. We actually, where do we depend on 3-seater directly? Do we even ever do? I guess the solution is local search. So super does. I am wagering that is the super dependency that hasn't been updated. Because I remember one line was saying that this shouldn't be master, but it should be another release. And for some reason we lost that. Not sure why. So this is Neurosite 3-seater. Search all of GitHub. Yeah. Code. Man. GitHub is amazing. I have to say, GitHub is truly amazing. Your side. So releases. That's the one that we want. So is this it? Copy link. Remove the hash. Zig build serve. Give me the hash. This is another one. And this time it's flow syntax. So this is this guy to this guy. Yeah. I think this is code, right? No, not a release. I guess this is the one that we want. Go to the branch. Is this wait, do you expect to make changes to it? I mean, I'm thinking, you know what? I'll unless you tell me that it's a bad idea, I'll pick this comment and just call it a day. Actually, one of these two. Well, I guess 013 was just cut, so the latest one is probably better, or in any case, good enough. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this one, take this one. Give me the hash. Somehow I feel like I bungled some of my rebase process because some of these was already solved. So I don't know. No step named serve. Huh. That actually makes sense because you called serve on the website. Also, we got a compile error. Neat. And more. Okay, so we have to undo our change to comp time stuff. I think it was like this, right? And then an allocator. Hey, comp time, thank you. Okay. Okay, so one problem ideally solved. A few more to go. Child process. Server reloader. Well, hopefully the interface hasn't changed. Okay, so we got building. Okay. We did it. At least superficially. We did it at least superficially. Hey, Kanji Nakamoto. Sorry, I only saw your message now. I don't know when you send it. In any case, hey there. Does it support making concurrent HTTP requests with support for cancellation? The answer is no, in the sense that it is not implemented yet. It is something that is, in theory, obviously implementable with Zig, being a low-level language. But as far as I'm aware, right now, this is not really implemented by anybody. Although, you know what? Let me double check a little bit with what Zap offers. I don't think that Zap offers you cancellation. But like, if you want an HTTP server with concurrent requests, you can totally use Zap. In terms of cancellation, just search. Yeah, there's no mention of cancellation. That said, the fact that there is no mention doesn't mean that it is not supported. This should be investigated more thoroughly. But I do believe it's kind of like a request response thing. You know what? I guess the question is, what do you mean by cancellation more precisely? Because cancellation means... it could mean different things. Like, how do you want cancellation to work? I guess, what is it that's providing cancellation? Because cancellation could be, I'm guessing the client sends you a partial request, and then they have the ability to send you a part of the body that you interpret. Or actually, I don't know, I don't remember what freaky thing you can do with the latest and greatest of HTTP technology, but maybe you can even send some headers delayed. So like you send a header that requests cancellation with a delay, like you send it at some point. I'm actually not sure if, like, I think that HTTP 1.1 doesn't support that. 2.0, I don't even remember if it does. Maybe 3 does. But in any case, so that kind of stuff, it's implementable. Like, the idea is that I believe that all these clients, well, servers, yeah, all these frameworks allow you to read partial requests, and so you can have cancellation logic tied to that. I'd like to benchmark some endpoints and drop requests after a maximum timeout. That should be implementable. Although you don't have async await, so by not having async await, it might be a little bit more annoying to write that explicitly, but you can have it. That said, today Zig is not yet, maximum, I don't know, joy when it comes to writing web services. You can do it, but there are more interesting things that you can do with Zig right now, and that part of the Zig stack is not yet fully polished. So we'll get there. I would say maybe consider trying it out if you're willing to explore a little bit, cut some... It's like going in the jungle a little bit. You must be willing to carve your own path a little bit. And you're not guaranteed that you will find success, but the ingredients are there. Like, eventually a solution that does what you describe in a very beautiful way will be there. But today I cannot think of like somebody having solved this problem fully. That said, as I was saying, if your point is just like a timeout, you can totally pull it off. I've been following and supporting the project on GitHub since before PayPal payment drop. Oh yeah. I'll get back for the next projects. Well, if you're interested in maintaining PayPal and GitHub has let you down, because GitHub has certainly let us down in many ways. By the way, hello, Rocco Rager. Go to here, every.org. You know what? I'll share the link in chat. Oh, okay. I did not do a good job. This is our foundation. Every. This is our Every profile page. Every is right now our favorite donation platform. We prefer it to GitHub sponsors. Oh, you switched to CC? Okay, never mind then. Well, but thank you. For everybody else, in case you like, it's, at some point, GitHub removed support for PayPal. So you used to be able to donate to Zig through GitHub sponsors using PayPal, but then they nuked it. And so all the people that were donating to us through PayPal, they overnight stopped donating. And so if you're one of these people, and actually maybe you never even really paid attention to that, but if you're one of those people and you want to keep using PayPal, check out every.org. It allows you to keep using PayPal to donate, and it's currently our favorite platform. And it's really good. That said, currently the rewards, like your name on the front page, assuming you're donating, a significant amount of money, are not active on Every because we don't have yet an API that allows us to fetch these information as easily as it is for us to fetch it from GitHub. That said, we spoke with the people that run every.org and we told them that we would totally love to be able to do that because it's an active use case of ours and it's not just us doing this kind of thing. So hopefully they will implement it sooner than later. That said, as a platform, I think it's pretty good. I think as a platform, it's really, 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 really pretty good. Okay, so we have, I think all our projects have been updated more or less one way or another. So that was good. That was really good. So does anybody have any Zig question? Is there any Zig question in chat? Either YouTube or Twitch. I can see both chats. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't show up on screen in Borg. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. Or rather, I actually have this already implemented pretty much. Unfortunately, it's against the terms of service, and I have to decide when I want to be a bad boy. I'll be, a renegade and do the unthinkable and merge the chat streams despite, the benevolent companies behind those services not wanting me to. But for now, I haven't done it. So, but I can read both chats. Hey, Regalius, how's it going? It's going well. It is going well. So I'm slowly easing back into the streaming routine. Yesterday, I did like 1.5 hours worth of streaming, more or less. It was kind of tiring. Actually, it was surprisingly tiring for just being 1.5 hours. I remember before stopping a few months ago, I was streaming like 8 hours a day. And I'll need a few days to get back to that rhythm. Right now, I just can't. But we're getting there. So we got Zine updated. So we got Zine updated, and we got also the website stuff up to date, which is going to be good. You guys might not care about it much, but it's something nice that is going to help Andrew with future releases, so that's good. And yeah, we did a little bit of programming today. I think that starting tomorrow, maybe we can do some actual development on Zine. There is some work that needs to be done, and also Felix has ruined my dream. Well, he actually found a flaw in my reasoning that is it's gonna force me to change the language a little bit, because unfortunately, turns out I thought that I could use the loop attribute to define my loops in Zine, But no, loop is an attribute used by the video element, and that freaking sucks. So I fear that we'll have to do what he suggests, or like not exactly what he suggests precisely, but something along those lines. Namely, we will need to somehow namespace our magic attributes in the static language, well, in the static website templating language that we designed. We'll need to somehow namespace them. And that is annoying. That is annoying, but it's probably kind of necessary. So I guess this is it. This is how it's gonna be. I guess this is how it's gonna be. This is a good issue. He did find an actual flaw in my reasoning. So we'll have to do something about this, which means changing the language, updating a bunch of websites that rely on this stuff, and more in general, continue doing all the work. Oh, by the way, before I forget, let me pop my stash. And continue the work to make an actual static site generator, like an actually functioning one. Now, so I don't see questions in chat, so I feel like I am allowed to call it a day then. Let's see if there's anybody streaming. I don't think anybody announced they're streaming on Discord. They did not. So I think it's time to call it a day. So thank you all for hanging out, and I'll see you probably not tomorrow. I'm taking Saturday off, but Sunday, next days. See you all soon. And if you have questions and about anything Zig related, the governance, the project, how to write stuff, how to implement things, you want me to take a look at a code snippet that you wrote, bring it in chat and let's have a chat. That's the main point of this stream. So thank you all and see you next time.